Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Friday the 17th of July. So looking at the euro dollar first, and well, we identified yesterday that how it had come up double topped here, pushed into the prior highs, had a reaction. Well, the reaction continued for best part of the day. It did have a rally through the afternoon there, but couldn't really hold on to those gains, and we've seen effectively a lower high put in here. Now there's around about nearly 80% of retail traders are looking for this euro to be sold off. Personally, yeah, it may still get a bit of a sell-off, but how quick they give in their short positions, we'll see. But to me, there's a lot on the table which may see further upside on this market. We'll see. So yep, short term. Lower highs, lower low come in there, confirmed in there, and if maybe a break of the trend line of the lows here this morning, we could see it running off back down towards the S1. Actually, if I bring back that 4-hourly chart for a moment, you will see there is that sort of potential support area which we've already tested here. So, well, maybe it will just get tested once again, but if it does roll, well, there's a it's only a very close target, or it's not a target at all in that respect, not tradable, but there's a potential for it to come retest that sort of zone. If it were to break, well, that may be a safer trade, but again, is well, maybe trading back towards that 6200 is a possibility. To the upside, it's a bit like yesterday in a sense for me. We were sitting around there. It did eventually break. It got to the tops of the bodies, and I think you just got to watch these bodies again. Might get into that R1, which is the R1 slightly lower today. The R1 pivot may give us, but the tops of those bodies may be the sort of potential target on a break of the daily pivot. Hasn't touched that yet, and the probability is quite good, so may get that shove in that direction. Just be patient. The pound again, it did also did a similar sort of bit of price action there. We could split these if you tried to, looking at them. The only thing here, we've got consolidation. It didn't break the absolute low that we saw earlier in the week there. So we've got consolidation with the pound, and the pound does have that potential. Yesterday I looked at again. I look at the euro yen and the pound yen. Euro yen didn't really do so much and wasn't so interesting, although it did push up earlier through the day there. We're in double top, so it did have the stronger of the moves there, whereas the euro dollar was not doing anything, and the pound yen is, which I was looking at, it got oversold on the shorter time frames, and it gave a move back to its daily pivot. So it's 71. It just literally hit it and rolled over for a little while, but it did push on through. So again, this may be the one to watch in terms of the pound yen as opposed to the pound dollar, but this has put a lower high in at the moment, and well, it looks a bit bitty. If it starts rolling, we could have a move down towards the S1, yesterday's body lows there. Okay, but coming back to the pound itself, sorry, I'm just flicked between, but it's just there's opportunities there. If the pound starts pushing up and runs up above the pound dollar, this is above the those Asian session highs there, well then it looks like, and maybe it will go with the euro and we'll push up towards the R1 and the bodies of yesterday. So that would take me away from looking at the pound yen on the short side. So just need to watch this morning. Now, I mean, we are just post 8 o'clock. It's the time to be watching these markets carefully. Aussie dollar. Aussie's been a bit of an odd one. As I said, it's got up to that 70-10 area. It's got potential to push on. Actually, 70-16. It actually managed into the bodies there. It's fouled. It's a bit like the euro, just not got the legs at the moment. But are we going to see something? The 4 hourlies here, well, lower highs confirmed through this period. You can see a lower high, lower low come through. Clearer to see on the hourly picture here. It's, again, a lot of these markets at the moment are trying to break upside. Now, if we can get a decent break upside, well, yesterday's high is not looking particularly wonderful in terms of targets or anything like that. In fact, the target's very thin on the Aussie. There's one other thing I'm looking at here, and it may be worth a view into next week, is the trend line that's appearing. That's badly drawn. There we go. That trend line that's appearing there, if that starts breaking, well, maybe that's more significant rather than a bit of a short-term target. It may have the opportunity to get back up to that 70-25 area, maybe even more as we run into early next week. So it's starting to put the foundation would be really a break, maybe even let's see if it retraces, but a break of this area here may give an opportunity on the Aussie for the upside. Okay, Canadian dollar, don't really trade this intraday, but swing wise, let's have a look. So that softened yesterday as well, so it's similar picture. The Canadian dollar, you can see the daily 200 is the support area and the point we should be watching for a breakdown of. If it can break that level, then it becomes more significant. In the shorter term here, getting into an earlier swing, well, it needs to turn around, and the way it's looking at the moment is very hours and hours of sideward price action, and if you cut a few hours of real action, often the markets work like this, but I would like a few more hours of price action on the currency I'm trading. Maybe, as I say, swing wise, if it starts breaking down, maybe a break below the 60-minute 200, 50 rather, it's still pointing south, but it's starting to curl around a little bit. The 34's already come around for potential support, so maybe a struggle down there, but a break of this level may give opportunities for that, as I say, that bigger push down and retest of those prior lows there, and maybe even a break of that 200 eventually. Okay, so that's the main currencies there that we look at. Oil wise, there's not much going on for me here. As I said yesterday, or a couple of days this week, it's got into too much of a bit of a sideward action. The fundamentals have worked out of it a little bit, and my concerns are, as we work towards the end of July, well, we need more reassurance that these markets and these cuts in production are going to continue. So on that basis, I'm steering out of it a little bit. There may be some moves back. As I said, the target wise, I was looking at and talking about yesterday at 41.40ish area. Doesn't look, I mean, it's just not wanting to achieve it at the moment, but I'm sure with this consolidation at some phase it may run through. And finally, the S&Ps. Looking at the S&Ps here then, well, choppy old price action. It's run into those prior highs the previous day. Yesterday sold off. It was sitting there. I couldn't believe it, actually. I looked at a 5-minute chart at one stage, came back and looked at it again. I couldn't believe how choppy it was for those. Well, you see the 4 hours they're here. They're just sideward price action. Just how choppy it was unbelievable. But there we are. That's the way it's running at the moment. Where to from here? I wonder we've got earnings. There you go. You see it even clearer on that 60-minute time frame, actually, how choppy it's been. Yeah, it's going to fire at some stage. Which way? Potentially up, I guess. It seems to be the point of least, dare I say, resistance. The potential, but it's hardly filling with excitement and what it's doing here. Not that I really want to be excited, I just want a decent trade. So that's pretty much it today. We have one speaker and a bit of sentiment coming out later. Bank of England Governor speaking at 11 o'clock. This is an open session for the general public, so it's more Q&A than anything else, and questions coming both sides. So it's a listening session, believe it or not. Excuse me. And then at 3 o'clock we've got the US consumer sentiment, which I don't think we'll see too much in the way of price action coming out of that. So really slight risk event potentially at 11 o'clock for the pound, but it being a Q&A, I'm not sure it will have a lot of value. So there we are. Have a great day. Bye for now.